I'm going to see if I can survive being trapped in this car as 10 relentless pumps unleash a torrent of water simulating the raw power of a 7-knot current.
You don't know what's under the water, you don't know what the water's going to do.
This is basically like putting myself into the aftermath of a hurricane and hoping it'll turn out all right. But that's the point. Because we're standing here in Hurricane Alley, but despite that, there's never been a facility like this to train swiftwater rescuers. And there's a shortage of them. Not to mention that with every passing storm season, that gap is growing more and more dangerous. Until now, I'm David Hurst. This is ncIMPACT. Okay, check this place out. This is Fayetteville Tech Swiftwater Rescue Facility. It's one of the only indoor swiftwater rescue facilities in the country. Groups come from all over the United States to train here, but today, it's a group of first responders from around North Carolina. It's the last day of a week-long class, so I wanted to put what they've learned to the test. I'm jumping in and volunteering to be the subject in a simulated rescue. Their goal? Get to us by boat, rescue us from the sinking vehicle, and get us back safely to land in one piece. Let's find out if they can do it. First, they secure us in a vehicle with no life vest as water begins to rise. The rescue team anchors their approach with guide ropes, fighting against the simulated flood current. Now comes the crucial test. Getting someone out of a submerged vehicle takes split-second timing and careful maneuvering through tight spaces.
Bring it up.
Intense. There was a split second where it felt real and panic slipped in a little bit, but it was intense. I have a lot of respect for the people who do this.
Experiencing this simulation firsthand drives home just how unpredictable and dangerous swiftwater rescues can be. While Hurricane Helene recently proved the importance of this kind of training, the story of this facility begins with another storm, Hurricane Matthew in 2016.
Hurricane Matthew in 2016 really changed people's perspectives in the emergency response world just because of the amount of flooding it caused and the widespread damage and the number of people it impacted. It really made people stop and start thinking about how do we handle these emergencies and how do we better prepare for them.
In Cumberland County, Hurricane Matthew brought 12 to 14 inches of rain in just 12 hours. That's a lot of rain. Lewis says they received about 1,800 calls for rescues and evacuations during that time. That many calls overwhelmed local rescuers.
So it was a very chaotic situation, very dangerous, and fortunately the loss of life was relatively small, but that was because of the efforts of first responders.
This importance became clear again in September of 2024 when Hurricane Helene struck western North Carolina. Swiftwater rescue teams mobilized quickly, racing to save lives threatened by the surging floodwaters. The advanced training, much like what we've seen here, proved crucial as rescuers faced an unprecedented storm. Swiftwater rescues are obviously a matter of life or death. How important is it to have trained swiftwater rescuers in these communities?
So swiftwater, if you ever watch any type of major swiftwater event, the people that get caught in them obviously are life-threatened. They cannot get out of where they're at. If they could, they would have. And if they stay where they're at, then things are not going to go well. But if you watch these major events, it is about the most dangerous thing a responder can do. You don't know what the water is going to do. So it is vital that emergency responders have a knowledge of how to operate around and, if needs be, in that swiftwater environment, but also to know their limitations and how to keep themselves out of danger.
It's training many fire departments don't have easy access to. Bryson Bokum works as a firefighter for the West Stanley Fire Department and Albemarle Fire Department. He's tried to get swiftwater rescue training in the past, but classes were often canceled because of bad weather or because river conditions were too dangerous. But since this facility is indoors and climate controlled, first responders now have a unique opportunity to train year-round, regardless of the weather. How realistic is it? Do you feel like at some points you're actually involved in a swiftwater rescue?
Yeah, I do. I like that it's controlled, just in case something goes wrong, because we're new and we're learning. They're able to control the speed and stuff, and actually hone in on the teaching aspects, and not worry about the river and what the river, Mother Nature, is doing. They can actually stop it and start it when needed.
And so not only is this place protected from the weather, it can simulate the weather, creating just about any weather condition you can think of. So what all kind of weather events can you replicate here?
There's lights over there, strobes that create a lightning effect. And then we can also make it rain, so that really you could put them in an environment like they would be in if they were dealing with flash flooding, which is a storm with rain, lightning, and just a lot of distracting noises. Once they get that down and they feel comfortable with that, then we cut the lights off.
So while this facility is revolutionizing how we train rescuers, there's a broader mission at play here, preventing emergencies before they happen.
Moving water can pick up a car with as little as 6 inches of moving water. And the deeper it is, it can pick up trucks, it can pick up whatever. So trying to stay out of that water is vitally important. So we hope to also educate the public and keep them out of position, so hopefully we don't have to do any of this work.
We want to hear from you in this conversation. How do you think you would do here? How are you or your community preparing for severe weather events? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.